Alright, hello everyone, hope y'all having a good day. So in this video we're going to be doing a little preview looking at the upcoming games for October 20th. So we got a pretty stacked day going on here. So we'll start off with the Jets and the Golden Knights. The Jets are coming off a 4-3 overtime win against the Colorado Avalanche, so I know they're feeling pretty good. But back-to-back after playing a game against the Stanley Cup champs might be a little tough. Going against the Knights, they've been playing pretty solid. They're off to a 3-1 start. I thought that their games have been a bit shaky. Logan Thompson has honestly been on point. He's been amazing. So for the Jets, it might be a dash tough, especially again coming off that back-to-back off a really tough game. So I feel like the Knights might have a bit of an advantage in that one. So we'll see how that goes. Next up, Hurricanes, Oilers. Oilers are off to a slow start, whereas the Hurricanes are doing pretty solid. They're one of the only undefeated teams left, and coming off like a bit of a break, I think I'm going to go with the Hurricanes in this one. Although, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the Oilers won, because since they haven't been off to a great start, they're a bit hungrier. You never know when they're just going to flip the switch. Obviously, they're a great team coming off the Western Conference Finals appearance last year, and just, you know, McJesus, as everyone likes to call him. Obviously, they have a great team aside from him, so could go either way, but I think I kind of liking the Hurricanes odds on that one. Devils Islanders should be a good matchup. Islanders have gone off to a good start. Devils a bit shakier, but they kind of have found the rhythm with the comeback win against the Ducks most recently. So that should be a good one. That's kind of a tough call, honestly. I'm not sure about that one. I think I'm leaning a bit towards the Islanders, but I think with the building momentum of the Devils, especially facing a heavy division rival, I feel like they might come out on top. So I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling a little controversial, but I think I'm going to go with the Devils. Coyotes Canadiens. I believe the Coyotes' last game was against the Toronto Maple Leafs, in which they won. Although what's kind of interesting is like over the last like 7 matchups with the Coyotes and the Maple Leafs, I think Coyotes have won all of them or only lost like 1. So pretty interesting. They probably have some confidence going up, so I think that should be a decent game. But I think I'm going to take the Canadiens in that one. Ducks Bruins. I feel like the Ducks could take something because they've just been on a losing streak with this whole East Coast tour, and especially probably being really mad after that loss that they suffered, the come from behind loss against the Devils. So they could be pretty hungry and surprise us. But I feel like, unfortunately, they might suffer a bit of a loss again, so I'm going to go with the Bruins. Stars Maple Leafs. Again, another team, the Maple Leafs, who are off to a decently slow start. I mean, only been 4 games and they're 2-2, but they're probably still trying to find their footing. The Stars are kind of off and running. But you know what? I think I'm going to take the Maple Leafs in that one. I feel like they got a bit of an edge. I feel like they're kind of ready to settle in, so we'll see what happens. Next up, Sabres Flames. Sabres, they have been the ones saying that they're going to surprise people, and so far they have. They've been playing really well, but Calgary seems pretty locked in, so I'm going to go with Calgary. Next, we got Canucks Wild. They're both teams that are off to surprisingly slower starts. I think Vancouver doesn't have a win. Yep, they do not have a win. They are one of 3 teams, and yes, the Wild also don't have a win, so one of those losing streaks will be snapped. I think I'm going to take the Wild. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think I'm going to take the Wild because they've been scoring a decent amount of goals in the losses that they've taken. Vancouver kind of has, but not as much. So I think as long as their goaltending can hold their opponents to within a few, I think the Wild will comfortably come out with the lead. The win. And they're going to be home for that game, so that helps. Next, we got Kings Penguins. Solid matchup, but I think I'm just going to take the Penguins. They've been looking pretty good, and again, Penguins are home, and in the close games like that, I feel like I kind of tend to lean a little bit more towards the home team. So next up, Predators Blue Jackets. The Predators haven't gotten a win since their 2 wins over San Jose in Europe, whereas the Blue Jackets started off on a losing streak, but then they just recently won a game in overtime yesterday. They did beat the Canucks, who are also on a losing streak, so both of these teams, it's kind of a bit of a toss-up. Honestly, I feel like that game could go either way, so that should be a close game, but I don't want to go Columbus, so I think I'm going to go Columbus. Next up, Capitals Sens. I feel like, although the Capitals aren't off to a bad start or anything, I feel like it's been a bit shaky, and I feel like with game by game, the Senators have been looking better and have just been clicking a bit more, so could be a bit of a surprise, but I think I'm going to go with the Senators. And then lastly, we got the Rangers and the Sharks. Definitely taking the Rangers in this one because the Sharks have started 0-5 and the Rangers have started 3-1, but each one of their games they have looked really, really good, and they're really clicking. The chemistry is just on point. I think Shesterkin looks really good, but he's been off to a slower start than I guess some would expect. I still think he's doing great, and as the Sharks have struggled to score, I think Shesterkin's just going to be ready to go. Again, a home game, and they love playing in front of the Garden, so going to go with the Rangers on that one. Unfortunate for the Sharks, because if if that does happen where the Rangers win, they'll be 0-6, which is a pretty unfortunate start. So we'll see if they can turn things around, perhaps in this next game. But again, yeah, taking the Rangers, and yeah. So again, here are the games that we got going on for October 20th. Big slate of games, so we'll be keeping an eye on all of them as usual. And yeah, so enjoy the games for however many you watch or whichever one you're watching. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and take care.